If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. Or if you're like me and you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Chaotic Curl, and in today's video, we're actually going to be using some of the leftover yarn that I had for making this gorgeous cardigan. So this yarn is actually the Premier Just Yarn worsted from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using the exact same colors that I used to make this cardigan. So that's going to be my leaf green, this mist gray, royal blue, slate gray, and black. And this yarn actually does call for a 5.5 millimeter hook. Now, before I get into what project it is I'm going to be making, don't forget to follow me over on my Instagram, where you'll be able to see this project as well as the project we're making this week and previous projects that I've made. I'm also now on TikTok under the same name as I am on Instagram at chaoticcurl_crafts. So don't forget to check me out over there as well. And also don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit that little bell notification so that you can be notified of any new videos that I post. This week's video, like I said, I'm going to be using the leftover yarn that I had from this cardigan. And I'm actually going to be making a bralette, so that way I can have something to match the cardigan exactly. And especially since I had so much yarn left over, I don't want it to just be stuck in my stash just waiting for a project to come to mind. Since I am really loving the way that these stripes look, I feel like I'm gonna love it even more in a bralette. So I am gonna be making the bralette, but I'm gonna be using the Alpine Stitch, so it's not gonna be the same mesh stitch, but of course I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. And I did also make sure to link below the video where I learned how to make the Alpine Stitch, just in case my directions are a little confusing, so you guys can just check out that video and follow those instructions if it's a little bit easier for you. But I am also gonna link down below the instructions for where I made this cardigan, just so you guys can check that out if you do want to make this two-piece set that's turning out. And of course, I also made sure to list down below all of the materials and supplies that I used for this project, like that 5.5 millimeter hook that the yarn is actually calling for. Sorry, the yarn is calling for. So let's get started on the project. Okay, so I am ready to get started. I was able to do my first row, which, like I said, was going to be the double crochet double mesh. So that's what we're seeing now. And I'm just ready to get started on the Alpine Stitch, which luckily just requires multiples of 2 stitches. So I have that amount. So we're just going to get started now with the first row for the Alpine Stitch, which is going to be the single crochet row. So for this row, I'm going to single crochet all the way across the row until I make it to the end. And of course, that's going to be the first row for the Alpine Stitch. And as you can see, I finished my single crochets all the way across the row. So now for this second row, we're going to be doing my stacked single crochet turning chain, and then we're going to just do double crochets all the way across the row. And as you can see, for this row, I finished my double crochets all the way across. So now for this third row, we're going to be doing another row of just single crochet, and that's all the way across the row because we're still establishing our Alpine Stitch. So for this row, we're actually going to start working on the textured portion of the stitch. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to start off with my stacked single crochet turning stitch, and then in the next one, instead of doing the double crochet in that next single crochet, we're actually going to go around the double crochet from the previous double crochet row. So I'm going to do a front post double crochet. As you can see, I'm going around that double crochet, pulling up my loop, and then I'm just going to work the double crochet as normal. And for the next one, we'll do the double crochet into that single crochet from the previous row, not from the double crochet row. And we'll just continue that way, doing a double crochet in the front post or in the double crochet from the double crochet row, just going around it, and then a double crochet in that single crochet from the row that we're actually working on. And you're just going to keep going this way until you make it to the end of the row. Now that I finished with my alternating double crochets and front post double crochets, I'm actually going to just turn it over to the wrong side where we can't see the texture. And we're going to do single crochets all the way across this row so that I can make it back over to the front where we can see the texture, and we can continue with building up the double crochets and building that alpine stitch. So I'll do the double crochets, the single crochets here, and then we'll just continue with my stitch from there. Okay, so I finished that single crochet, and now I'm back over onto the right side. So what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to start off with my stacked single crochet for the turning chain, and then I'm going to alternate my front post double crochet. So in this one you can see that I'm starting off with 2 double crochets, one right after the other, or my stacked single crochet and a double crochet right next to it. And now in that next one, the one that I didn't do a front post in, that's the one I'm going to do the front post double crochet in from the previous double crochet row. So I'm just going to continue from there, where I'll do a double crochet into the single crochet row where I've done a front post in the previous double crochet row, and I'll do a front post double crochet in the double crochet from the previous double crochet row where I didn't do a front post. But of course I'll make sure to link the tutorial where I learned how to do the alpine stitch, just so you guys can get a bit better instruction in case this is a little confusing. And we're just going to continue this way, where we'll be alternating our front post double crochets and our double crochets. But of course, once you make it over to the end of the row, you're just going to turn it over and single crochet all the way back to the end, so that way you can continue building the texture on the right side where you already have the texture started. And I'll check in again halfway. This is what it's looking like halfway up. I did 4 rows of the green, 4 rows of the gray, and I don't have that much of the blue left, so I'm just going to work up as many rows of the blue as I can, but that is going to be the middle of the project since it is the 3rd color. And this is just what the alpine stitch is looking like. It's coming out exactly the way that I want it to, and I have decided to use the double mesh stitch again for the straps. So once I'm done with the body portion and the alpine stitch, I'll make sure to switch over to whatever color it is that I'm going to be using for the straps. I'm not sure if I'm just going to use the black since it is going to be the color at the top, or if I'm going to switch over to another color, but I am going to be doing at least 6 rows or 6 stitches over, so that way I have the 2 stitches, the chain space, and the 2 stitches, and I'll definitely be able to make it work. But this is what it's looking like so far. So I did want to come back and show you guys how I attach the yarn to get that second strap done. I did already do the first strap, but I was able to just continue from the single crochet row of the Alpine stitch, so I didn't have to detach or reattach the yarn for that one. But for this second strap, I am gonna have to reattach the yarn, and I just wanted to show you guys how it is that I did it. Now I do have to separate 6 stitches so that I can do my double mesh stitch, so I am here just counting out the 6 stitches. And I do have my slip knot already ready to go, but I am gonna have to recount those 6 stitches because I didn't use a stitch marker, which I definitely suggest you guys do, so you don't have to be counting over and over again. But now that I'm ready to get it attached, what I'm gonna do is actually go into the back loop of that first stitch of the 6, so that way I can attach my yarn through here. So I'm just gonna put the slip knot onto my hook, tighten it up so that way it's not a whole big loop, and I'll pull through that first leg of the stitch, and then I'm going to go back into the same stitch. I'm not going to make any chains or anything like that. I'm going to go under both legs of the stitch this time so I can yarn over and pull that loop up. And as you see, I have the 2 loops on my hook, so I can just do my single crochet for that stacked single crochet stitch. And there's that second single crochet, and now what I'm gonna do right next to it is another double crochet, and then I'm gonna chain 2 and then do skip 2 stitches and then do the last 2 double crochet that I need in order to finish that double mesh stitch. So it is just gonna be over the 6 stitches that I separated. I'm not gonna make a huge strap. It doesn't need to be too big. It actually looks really good just over these 6 stitches. And now that I finished that row, we're just gonna flip the project over and go right into our next row for that double mesh stitch. So I'm gonna do my stacked single crochets, as you can see here. Then I'm gonna chain 1, and I'm actually gonna work 2 double crochets into that chain space, then chain 1 and do another double crochet into the last stitch. And then we're just gonna continue working it up the same way I did for that double mesh cardigan that I made, and it'll just build up the strap perfectly. Okay, so I was able to finish the 2 straps. So this is what the top is looking like so far with its straps. So all I need to do now really is just sew the straps onto the side panels and make that cord for the back, and I'll come back and show you guys once it's done. So here is the finished bralette. As you can see, I did have enough yarn to finish all of it. I actually finished the royal blue yarn with this project, so I don't have any more royal blue, but I do still have from the black, slate, mist, and leaf yarn left over, so I'm gonna have to make something else with that, but I can't think of anything right now. But this is what the bralette is looking like with the Alpine Stitch. Just a little closer so you guys can see what that looks like. And this is the back with that little cord that I made. I made it out of the green and black, so that way it's two-toned, but I'm definitely loving the way that this pattern is looking with the stripes. And I do like the fact that I made it an apron style top, so I didn't have to worry about decreasing on the sides. I just finished with the blue, and then I attached the slate gray and continued building up from there. And of course, as I mentioned, that double mesh in the strap. But this is what it looks like now that it's done, and the fit is perfect. And now I'll show you guys what it looks like with the cardigan on. So here it is, my matching set, my new matching set. I'm so glad I had enough yarn left over to make this top. This is such a cute outfit. I'm so excited. But yeah, this is what the top is looking like. And of course, as I said, I will make sure to link down below the video where I made this cardigan in case you do want to make your own. But this is the finished project. And I just wanted to thank you guys for joining me in this week's video. I hope you had as much fun making your projects as I did making this one. And don't forget, like I said, to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to join me over on TikTok and on Instagram at chaoticcurl_crafts, where I'll have reels and TikToks of this project as well as the other projects that I've been working on and any other projects that I might have coming up. So don't forget to check me out over there as well. But thanks for joining me in this week's video, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.